that, and welcome to Music from the Basement. It's September 21st, 1987. Epic Records released the second WWF album. Just like the original, this has theme songs for wrestlers as well as songs sung by wrestlers in the WWF at the time. So sit back, strap in, as we take a look back at WWE Piledriver. Okay, so the first song in this album is a song called Girls in Cars. Yes, it is as ridiculous as it sounds. The song was created for a tag team known as Strikeforce. Tito Santana, a former Intercontinental Champion, which means kind of champion of North America, and a wrestler named Rick Martel. Both young, both big stars on their own at the time, decided to tag team together and form the team called Strikeforce. This team actually went on to have several championships and was a fan favorite throughout their time in WWF. Here's Girls in Cars.
You on the road with a smile and you have to look twice. And you wonder to yourself, could a woman really look that nice? Girls in cars. Girls in cars. I love girls in cars. Girls in cars. They always catch your eye and pretend that they just don't care.
I didn't remember how completely 80s that sounds. This next song is done by a gentleman named Koko B. Ware. Now, back in the late 80s, early 90s, he was a huge star, one of the many that had kind of mascots. There was Jake the Snake Roberts. He had a snake. There was the British Bulldogs, who actually came down in the ring with a bulldog. And the Birdman, Koko B. Ware, came down with a yellow and blue macaw. Now, I can't for the life of me tell you how this macaw didn't fly off into the sunset every time they came to the arena, or how the sound didn't spook the hell out of him, but it happened to work each time they came to the ring. So Koko B. Ware became kind of a spokesman for WWE and started to sing a couple songs and albums. Here's the first one, namesake of this album, Piledriver.
Love is like a slow dance. You can tiptoe around, but don't make a sound. You can make a little silent romance. But sometimes love sounds like a fight. It sounds like an argument. It sounds just like a power driver. Love, it just feels fake. First you think you're so strong, but something goes wrong. It feels like a great big mistake.
It's funny, the video for that song actually was a bunch of wrestlers on a construction site leering at women. The Honky Tonk Man, a gentleman who styled himself after Elvis Presley. He had the big jumpsuit, the greased back hair, he had a pink Cadillac that used to roll in. He actually is the cousin of one Jerry the King Lawler. Now, if you don't know anything about wrestling, Jerry the King Lawler was actually involved in a very, very famous angle with comedy legend Andy Kaufman. Surprisingly, this song is not that horrible, for a bad guy.
I got long sideburns and my hair slicked back. I'm coming to your town in my pink Cadillac. I'm just a honky-tonk man.
He's a honky-tonk man.
I'm just a honky-tonk man.
He's a honky-tonk man.
I'm just a honky-tonk man. I'm cool, I'm cocky, I'm bad. I pick a mean guitar, I wear a blue suede shoes. You ought to hear me sing the snakeskin blues. I'm just a honky-tonk man.
He's a honky-tonk man.
I'm just a honky-tonk man.
He's a honky-tonk man.
I'm just a honky-tonk man. I'm cool, I'm cocky, I'm bad. Bro, Elvis, Let the honky-tonk man show you how to rock and roll. Elvis who? He couldn't carry a tune if it had handles on it. Oh, have mercy, baby.
What's funny is you really listen to that song and you hear that the background singer is just as off-key as the honky-tonk man. So I guess two wrongs make a right here? I don't know. In my youth, there was one tag team that literally scared me every time I saw them. It was both exhilarating and terrifying all at once. The team was known as the Demolition. Now, these guys came out in Jason-style hockey masks with hoods, spikes all over themselves. They look like bad bondage models is what they look like. But I didn't know what that was when I was a kid. At least that's what I'm going with right now. Rick Derringer did this song for them. It is just as scary as the people themselves. Here is the Demolition.
Here comes the axe, and here comes the smasher, the demolition, walking disaster, pain and destruction is our middle name. Search and destroy you, run and we'll find you. There's no place to hide, the devils will get you. Pain and destruction is our middle name. The demolition. There to save your end of congestion.
Goosebumps. All right, a little overdramatic, but that's how I feel sometimes about that song. Now, one of my favorite parts of professional wrestling is the managers. Such managers as Jimmy Mouth of the South Hart, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Oliver Humperdinck, that's correct, that is a real name for a wrestling manager, and Slick. Slick was a stereotypical pimp-type character whose stable of wrestlers were all evil characters in WWF lore. His theme song, oddly enough, is a song called The Jive Soul Bro, where basically throughout the song he tries to defend himself for all the bad things he does. It's actually a funny, little bit racy song, but still entertaining for what it was at the time. Form your own opinion on this one. Here's Slick.
Well, I met this lady and I told her quite a story. Said I love her forevermore. But the trouble is I tell the same old story to every girl that walks through the door. This is the slick start talking at you, honey. Well, first they love me and then they don't. Sometimes they do it and sometimes they won't. So I said to this girl, hey, you get out. And she got to her feet and began to shout. You a jive soul bro, a jive soul bro. And you're always lying to your friends. You're a jive soul bro, a jive soul bro. And you never get nothing in the end. What you talking about, ladies? This is the slickster talking to you. I don't do nothing but tell the truth.
Another wrestling manager we've spoken about a few times is Jimmy the Mouth of the South Hart. Now, he's managed just about every wrestler there is, from the Honky Tonk Man to Hulk Hogan. One of his tag teams was known as the Hart Foundation, more famous than most in his stable, wanted this song as their theme song to come to the ring with. Well, WWF staff said, we want this to be for the team of the Young Stallions, Paul Roma and Jim Powers. Never heard of them? It's okay, no one else has either. But they took this song. Here's the Young Stallions, Jimmy Hart, Crank It Up.
The streets, looking for some action. Had my radio playing on my rock and roll station. Saw three hot ladies down by the square. I said, jump in, girls, let's go party somewhere. Crank it up, blow it out, rip it up, let's party now. Crank it up, blow it out, rip it up, party now.
bit of a harder edge song for the time, which is funny because it sounded like all hair bands back then. Bon Jovi, Poison, take your pick. It's still a fun song, though. So this next song, I imagine, came from like a pitch meeting to the WWF offices. The producers came in and probably said, hey, great idea on this. We're doing this new WWF album, right? Well, in the middle of all these really, really high energy and exciting songs, let's throw in a country ballad. Not only a country ballad, but one with the only country star we have, Hillbilly Jim, and his on-screen girlfriend. What could go wrong? Well, you're about to find out. Here's Waking Up Alone, Gertrude and Hillbilly Jim.
I just had a dream about you. A dream that you were home, sweet home. But then I woke up without you. Another morning waking up alone.
Another night, another fight. It seems it never ends. Another town, then another show. Tonight I'll be a hero with thousands of friends. Tomorrow I'll be waking up alone. By God, I'm tough. Lord knows I'm big and strong. But nothing hurts me half as much as waking up alone.
I think that one's bad. Just wait. In that same pitch meeting I was speaking about earlier, somebody said, hey, let's give the boss the song. Let's give Vince McMahon, the man who created the most powerful wrestling empire on the planet, his own music video. I think his ego needs to be a bit bigger. Only don't tell him he can't sing, or dance, or act, or is attractive. We don't want to tell him anything like that, because we don't, I don't want to lie to him. In all seriousness, I have no idea who came up with this. I'm guessing it was him, but this song lives in infamy. Here's Vince McMahon, Stand Back. Now that you heard that travesty of a song, it gets worse. Think about Vince McMahon, who's this muscle-bound oaf of a man, gyrating his hips on stage while singing this. I think I just threw up a little in my mouth. On to a much brighter note. Mean Gene Okerlund, who I've spoken of before in the last video about these albums. A great singer, an incredible man on the microphone. This song done by Rick Derringer back in 1973. Here's Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo.
Bullseye! I couldn't stop moving when it first took hold. It was a warm spring night in the old town hall. There was a few college jokers, they were laying it down. Don't you know I'm never gonna lose that funky sound? Rock and roll, hoochie coo.
Or what you say. That song right there is fun. Now, the last song in the album, just like the album before it, is all the wrestlers doing a song at once. Before it was Land of 1,000 Dances, this one an original called If You Only Knew. Now, I really enjoy these ensemble songs that they have. They're really fun to listen to, and the characters really get into what they're doing. See if you can pick out the voices. Here's If You Only Knew by the WWF Superstars.
I've heard a lot of idle chatter.
That really doesn't matter to me. A lot of you guys want to see me in agony.
But the measure of a man, understand, is more than your common pattern.
It's the way I'll make you eat those words that matter.
If you only knew what I'm gonna do to you, you'd be running out of here as fast as 2 feet could carry you. Your destiny belongs to me. If you only knew.
I got some real bad news.
And it may involve your body.
You've been talking too much, too long, too loud. But you ain't scaring nobody. You see, talk is cheap when you can't keep your promise of destruction.
I think you'll see.
Because of me, you'll need reconstruction.
If you only knew what I'm gonna do to you, you'll be running out of here fast as 2 feet could carry you. Your destiny belongs to me. Whoa, if you only knew.
And that's going to do it for the Piledriver album. Thanks very much for hanging out. I had a great time doing this. We'll continue to do videos on music, so make sure you check them out next time. I'm the Fat Cat. Have a great week.